Hey everyone, it's Kendra here with the True You Project, and wanted to jump in here just to share with you a way that you can start to really express yourself and really own this idea of being free to be me through movement. And it's super, super fun. So, if you were just finding this on YouTube and you haven't been following along with what's been going on over at the True You Project, we have just launched an ebook called Your True You Journey, which is awesome. And there's a specific part of it where we really explore this idea I'm free to be me. And really, the whole book is getting you to a place where you can really embrace that for yourself. But this particular chapter is really looking into how part of free to be me is expressing our feelings and establishing boundaries. And once we have this really healthy boundary with the world in that container, it doesn't matter how messy we get, how crazy and chaotic, also how joyful and how much pleasure and ecstasy we can experience. Like we have permission for the whole range within this healthy boundary that we have with the world. So, this has been a challenge for myself and for Liberty, the co creator at the True You Project. And so, what we have discovered in reclaiming this part of ourselves is that it's not easy to just flip the switch. We have to kind of walk into this and tiptoe into this. And I've been exploring a couple things this year that have really helped me to do this from a physical perspective and using movements to actually give myself permission to be free to be me. So I'll just share two things with you. One is from a trauma theory perspective. And I've been experiencing a trauma recovery method called somatic experiencing and have done some training around this. And understand from a most simplistic level that any traumatic, hurtful, painful experience where basically our boundary has been broken, or what's the word? Someone has I'm trying to think of that word, but they have overstepped their bounds and come into our space, and so or we have been told, no, you're not free to be you. Consider that just to be trauma for the purposes of this. That our body needs to resolve that internally from a systemic point of view. And so one of the ways is literally to start to push push away. It looks like pushing away, but starting to really reclaim the space around us to say, no, this is mine. Okay. And so there's energy within us that needs to come out sometimes in order to say, this is my space. I want this for myself, and kind of reclaim that inner strength that we've always had, but has been pushed away and pushed down because somebody else has come into our space and either violated us emotionally, spiritually, or physically. So, what I'm going to invite you to do today is start to move in a way and show you some really simple movements that you can do that it may come naturally to you anyway, but also if they don't, then you can try them on for yourself. And I'm going to do that through music, using music to bring that out of us. Because the second thing that I've been exploring and doing this year is getting certified as an embodied dance class teacher training, or getting certified as the teacher, went through the training. And the really cool thing about this embodied class is that it uses music to connect us to different parts of ourselves. One of them being that inner strength that we have, and that inner desire that's also really connected to our anger. And so part of what Free to Be Me is being able to express our full range of emotion. And again, like I said before, whether that is crazy chaos, bawling on the floor, anger, things that maybe we've told, no, you need to be the good kid. You're not allowed to have a temper tantrum, or you get in trouble if you have a temper tantrum. But really saying, no, it's okay. Those things are necessary. Those emotions have to come out of us, as well as the other side of the spectrum of full ecstatic joy. And so, two things here. One is when we deny ourselves one, we deny ourselves the other. Brene Brown talks about this all the time, and it's really resonated with me. The other thing to think about is that the word emotion has the word motion in it. It's about energy moving through us. And if we don't give space for that energy to move through, it gets trapped inside and we can start to feel tension. And that's when we start to look for non-sustainable ways to release the tension, whether that's food or alcohol or drugs or sex or any kind of release that we need from this tension. So one of the beautiful things about dance is that we can connect to our emotion through the music, through the movement, and start to let that out and release. So when you combine the trauma theory with emotion and movement, dance becomes a beautiful way to actually let yourself be free to be you, release the emotion, set the boundaries, and a certain type of music can really help this. So over the course of this week, for those of you following the course of the week, we've had a variety of more gentler music, more flowing music. But today we're going to kind of turn it up a notch and explore some music that has a little bit of the emotions that we might keep in um, as an invitation to let it out. So a little bit more chaos, a little bit more anger in there, so that we have a safe space within the music to be free to be me. And it's super fun, even if it feels a little bit strange at first. So first I'll just show you a little bit of moves that you can do, and then show you how you can marry that to music. And then I'll send you the link to the song that I'm using as a sample, and you can do this for yourself in your own private space with nobody watching, and really just have a really great free experience within yourself. So the first thing is just really simple to start, just with some shaking. So some thumb shaking. Start with the wrists, maybe. Maybe you want to shake out your leg. But really just starting to unstick any stagnant emotion in you. Okay. Another thing you can start to do is just kind of like the flailing of the arms, right? Like if you think of when you have a little kid temper tantrum, their arms are going crazy, right? So permission to act like a 2-year-old. Okay. There's also, if you see that there's like this throwing thing, it's like pushing away, which is part of that boundary thing we were talking about. Stomping, right? Just really kind of feeling the strength in your legs down to the floor. Again, temper tantrum here, right? Really kind of just letting that out through stomping and putting that energy back into the ground. Another great one for reclaiming your boundary, I was doing this before, it's kind of like this is my space, you're not welcome here, right? And this is not an unloving thing to do. We need our sphere, whatever that is. For some people it's miles away, for some people it's here, but it is for the integrity of yourself. You need to be you, only you in that space. And so yes, there are times when other people are not welcome in that space, and that's totally okay. Trying to think of some other movements. Oh, pounding the floor, pounding the wall, just kind of any fist action, punching, all this kind of stuff. Jumping. So really listen to your body here and let it guide you as to what kind of movement you particularly need to let out. And what I notice is that every time I come to this movement practice, something different inside of me wants to shift. And so I often think if I was a fly on the wall, I'd be like, that's a crazy woman, right? But that's that inner critic and that judgment. This is necessary. And it's been so healing and cathartic for me, and such emotional release that comes. So I'm really going to encourage you to do this. So I'll just play a song. This is an awesome, awesome, awesome remix and mashup of Depeche Mode, The Doors, and Tears for Fears. So can you get any better than that? And so I'll send you the link because it's hard to find on YouTube. But you can hear, right? We've got some energy going in here already. And so you can just start to let this move through you, shake it out. Maybe you want to start stomping. Get the hips in there. The hips carry so much energy and emotion. You want to let that out, right? So get your hips going. Jump Great. So you can see that I look like an absolutely mad woman, but that is totally okay. And I'm even going to have to think of another term than mad woman and crazy woman because I feel like that's totally stereotyping our emotions that we need to release. So I'm a little bit out of breath. I'm going to stop there. I'll send you the link, but really, really try this on your own. And here's the thing, if that song doesn't work for you, find another one. AC/DC's, I'm trying to think, just any kind of like some house music, some like really banging house music, anything that kind of has that energy in it where you're just like, yeah, um, wanting to let it out. Okay. So, whew, gonna stop talking. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon. Bye.